Greetings, heroes of Arcasia. Today, Matt, Associate Franchise Lead, Henry, Head of Editorial, and myself, Senior Product Community Manager, are excited to be here with a special Lost Ark team update to share with you all. We're going to be covering some key areas of community interest, some long-standing, and sharing a look at some brand new coming content pieces and systems. Can either of you guys kind of elaborate on what's coming?
Yeah, so I'm going to cover the basics of a new system that we're going to be bringing to the West later this year, Paradise. This system is still actively being designed by Smilegate RPG for the global versions of Lost Ark. And once again, really want to emphasize this and provide a quick reminder that some of these names and details are going to shift as development continues. It's going to have a very easy difficulty so that it's accessible to all players. Paradise is going to be a new seasonal content with weekly activities that can be completed on each character. It will have season-based content that provides both weekly rewards and seasonal rewards, split into 3 distinct activities. The first activity is the namesake content called Paradise, a short monster wave defense style of content where you're trying to farm various Legacy of Paradise gear pieces, which can be put into new gear slots. Think things like belt or a cloak, or like other common pieces of gear that aren't currently in your slots. And these gear pieces are going to have grades like rare, relic, ancient, etc. And also are going to have special effects to help aid you in battle, which can be amplified as you drop better gear throughout the course of the season. There's going to be new levels of Paradise that unlock throughout the course of the season with better drop rates for higher gear. So even if you missed the first few weeks, taking a little break from Lost Ark, you can quickly catch up to everyone else. At the end of the season, your gear will reset before the next season begins. So next up is God's Testimony. This is an activity where you're going to attempt to 1v1 a boss in a short battle, with nearly all of the power coming from your Paradise Legacy gear. So no need to worry, support players, balance and stuff like that won't play as much into it. It's really going to be focused on those effects that you earn in Paradise. There's going to be increasingly powerful bosses you can face throughout the season, with a few at the start and more releasing throughout it as you farm better gear with stronger effects. Each boss is going to have first-time clear rewards with valuable items, along with a weekly leaderboard that gives you some rewards as well. As your special gear drops can help you kill the bosses as fast as possible, any player really has the potential to be atop that weekly leaderboard, and your weekly rank will earn you hell keys, which let you into the third activity tied to Paradise that we're about to talk through. Let's talk about Hell, the third and final of the activities tied to Paradise. You're going to be able to earn Hell keys from a few sources, including your weekly placement in God's Testimony. In Hell, there are 100 floors, and your goal is to descend as far as possible. Your key will have both a grade and a rank, and the better those are, the more floors you'll be able to descend in your Hell run. Clearing floors will be easy, kind of like Chaos Dungeon style. It's more about trying to hit some lucky effects and descend as far as possible before your key runs out of descents. You can kind of descend like a random amount when you use each descent on your key. So you don't have to clear all 100 floors, it's not that grindy. You can jump, and there will be some other special effects that help you get there. When your key is out of uses, you'll receive rewards based on the grade of the key combined with how far down you got. You will sometimes encounter altars from which you can hope to get better rewards or boosts to your current rewards, or that help you move between extra floors. The rewards in Hell can be really juicy, with some extremely critical rewards including gold, progression materials, additional Paradise gear, and a ton more stuff that we're working on adding into there. And because there's already a lot of luck involved with this system, we wanted to kind of implement something to mitigate that. So at the end of it, you're going to be presented with 3 options, when you finish your key, that you can choose between. So you can pick what you need most to progress between those 3 options that you receive. There's a ton more nuance to Paradise, but as I mentioned at the beginning, there's also a lot of details that are still being developed and are in flux. Yeah, so we heard feedback that while the Frontier system was great for newer players, casual players, and your alt characters, you wanted something where you could test yourselves a little bit more. So I want to talk a bit about the future of challenge-based content in Lost Ark, with kind of there being an emphasis on the hardcore players that we saw giving us survey responses and talking about that type of content. So we have a longer-term project that we're looking into after the Kazaros raid, and it's going to be called Challenge Mode. The goal of Challenge Mode is that it's going to be a harder difficulty of raids built with the raiding community in mind. And we're looking into features like potentially a seasonal in-game leaderboard, maybe some seasonal, prestige-based rewards to show off your abilities. Think similar to a first difficulty where you can play your heart out or just practice mechs and hit the boss.
When we do share that next roadmap with you in early July, though, we're looking at turning that into kind of a special moment where we can dive into some of the details for Paradise and all of the other exciting content on the horizon that we haven't even talked about today. That includes some of the things we know you're expecting, like the female paladin, the strike raid, and just so much more that's you've kind of seen from Korea. We're very excited to be providing more insight about the future of the game together, obviously. But before I get too far into the future, there's a more recent wave of feedback that we've been taking time to address as well.
Yeah, Makoko Bootcamp. So we've definitely heard your feedback when it comes to Makoko Bootcamp, and we're trying to have some adjustments when we bring it back this next time. The biggest change you're going to see is that we're going to be tying the Makoko status to actually clearing the raid or dungeon 10 times. So while we had a number of ideas, we do feel like this is the best option for players at the moment to help kind of get up to speed with the raid and then help those players earn various raid-specific titles sought after when accepting applicants in the Party Finder. It is important to note that there will be an item level limitation to what constitutes a Makoko, so please continue to be vocal and let us know your thoughts as we make changes. As a friendly reminder, this won't apply to every raid, but as we progress, we'll be monitoring and adjusting which it will apply to.
Yeah, Makoko Bootcamp has been a big topic, especially recently, and I know there are a few other things we've been talking about, so what else are we withholding that we can share with our players today?
Yeah, Henry and I can rapid fire off some of the other topics that the team has been, collaborating on, especially with Smilegate RPG. One of them, Mileage Shop. So coming in the West in the next few months, we're going to be introducing the Mileage Shop, and you're going to be receiving points for the past purchases that you've made. We'll follow up with a specific policy to kind of flesh that out, but we want to ensure that you're being rewarded based on your purchase history. So we're really excited to introduce this in the West after all this time.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, I think.
It really has.
So we discussed some of the items in the recent Smilegate RPG live stream, and we're going to be working to integrate relevant changes into the Western version as soon as we can, such as fixes for the Tier 3 honing dead zone, some of the raid adjustments that they talked through, and other general progression improvements. There are some more complex adjustments that we want to find the right time to bring and integrate into the West, like character-bound gold. Our economy is different from Korea, and with our faster content release cadence, we want to make sure that we're supporting you and returning players with the materials and items needed to progress at a good rate. We're still working on these plans, and we'll let you know more as we continue to develop the release of these adjustments in the West.
Yeah, so we're also aware of the mixed response to the current gem situation that's going on and being discussed in Korea. And we are watching it very closely and just watching its implementation. So while this system is being described for Korea, we are still discussing what this looks like for the West and when we're wanting to release it.
We also discussed the support play experience in Korea. Looking at the number of classes, the support shortage isn't too bad in the West, but we definitely want the experience of playing support also to be fun. So we're super excited for some of the changes that Smilegate are looking into, starting with the ARK passive adjustments for support.
We do look at all feedback, and while making changes to the game can take a lot of time, we really do appreciate your patience and support as we work to make Arcasia the best it can be. Thanks for joining us today, and as always, we'll see you back in Arcasia.